Well, election denier Rudy Giuliani has finally reached a settlement with the two Georgia election workers whom he defamed after the 2020 election. But the question is, who's paying for it? Some intrigue? Yeah, let's discuss. I'm Dave Ehrenberg, former state attorney for Palm Beach County, a.k.a. the Florida lawman here on the Midas Touch Network. Rudy Giuliani, who has continued to embarrass himself as he is unapologetic about his election lies, and then has doubled and tripled down on his defamation of Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, the two Fulton County election workers whom he defamed, saying that they were right there leading the fraud, passing drugs around and putting these boxes of ballots on the table that just came out of nowhere. All of it was a lie. And he was sued for defamation, and he kept doing it, and the two workers got a huge judgment, and Rudy Giuliani has to pay. In fact, not only does he have to pay, he's lost seemingly everything. Now, I must say, Florida has very loose bankruptcy laws. That's why a lot of people come to Florida to try to evade the judgments, the responsibilities that they have, because you have a homestead, you're allowed to keep your house. And then the question is, well, is it your main house? And so it gets into litigation. Rudy Giuliani seems to keep losing all of these court cases. Not a surprise. He was losing them when he worked for Donald Trump, and he's losing them when he's trying to save himself. But now Rudy Giuliani has reached a settlement. He owed the two campaign workers, Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, $146 million. Now, I get it if you're suing Rudy Giuliani and you want to settle because he can't get blood from a stone. The dude doesn't have a ton of money left. Although, here in Palm Beach County, over in Palm Beach, the Tony Island here, you sometimes see him out and about. He's still seemingly living the high life at nice restaurants, holding court. Yeah, well, who's paying for that? I don't know, but he has something. Just not the $146 million. That was not going to be collected. So I understand why there's a settlement. But who's paying the settlement money? According to NBC News, Rudy Giuliani said that this resolution does not involve an admission of liability or wrongdoing by any of the parties. I am satisfied with and have no grievances relating to the result we have reached. I've been able to retain my New York co-op and Florida condominium and all of my personal belongings, the statement said. The statement does not reveal how or how much of the huge damages amount will be satisfied. Giuliani had complained throughout the case that he's been having trouble making ends meet and had declared bankruptcy after getting hit with the verdict. A judge dismissed a bankruptcy case last year. Well, you mess around and find out. That's the PG version of it. It's time for accountability. You spread these election lies. You defame individuals. You show no remorse. You poison our democracy. What do you think is going to happen? So unlike others who seem to keep falling upwards, Rudy Giuliani keeps losing. And now he says he can't make ends meet, so he's in the settlement. So then the question is, if he can't make ends meet, who's paying this settlement? Now, we don't know how much it is, but if the judgment against you is $146 million, you can anticipate that the settlement you're paying out, ain't $1.89. It's going to be something of note that would lead the plaintiffs to say, okay, we'll take that. And it's not going to be his used Ford Pinto. And yes, I know he doesn't drive a Ford Pinto. He would never be caught dead in a Ford Pinto. But they're going to want real resources, real assets. But the question here is, who's paying for Rudy's settlement? Because we know one thing about the incoming administration. They are transactional. And there are a lot of people out there who want to curry favor with Donald Trump. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. President Biden warned us of the rise of the oligarchs. Well, could someone with a lot of money who wanted to get in Trump's good graces do him a solid by paying off the debt of his former lawyer, who is calling Trump asking for help? I mean, we've seen those reports. The question is, will Trump respond, or maybe someone just did it on their own to say, I'll take care of it. Here you go. Maybe it's one of the folks lining up to kiss the ring at Mar-a-Lago. We don't know, but an article in the Daily Beast, Joseph Camarata, one of the former New York City mayor's lawyers, told reporters outside the courthouse Thursday that the agreement was negotiated over the last 72 hours. He was mum on the settlement amount or who might have provided the financing. On CNN's Out Front, anchor Aaron Burnett spoke with senior crime and justice reporter Caitlin Polance about the big mystery, asking bluntly, who the heck bailed him out? And Polance responded, I've been asking many people, both sides involved in this case, and nothing. Polance replied, nobody will say anything about how this happened, how it came about, if there's any money that Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss are getting. I can tell you as a lawyer, pretty sure that the plaintiffs are getting money out of this. 4 years have been a living nightmare. We have fought to clear our names, restore our reputations, and prove that we did nothing wrong. Today is a major milestone in our journey. We have reached an agreement, and we can now move forward with our lives. We have agreed to allow Mr. Giuliani to retain his property in exchange for compensation and has promised not to ever defame us. So, of course, there's going to be money involved. And I think significant money, the bigger question is who's paying for it. And as far as Giuliani promising not to defame him, I don't know if he can help himself. I mean, the dude is clearly missing something. I mean, the elevator's not going to the top floor anymore. And will he stop the criticism of them and the lies about them? I don't know. I don't know if he can. But if he continues, that would open himself up to another lawsuit and more money being paid out, especially if there is a sugar daddy out there paying the money. We don't know, but it looks like someone's doing it, considering the guy claimed poverty. According to the Daily Beast, Caitlin Polance said that there was a close friend of Giuliani that was on another station just a few days ago saying somebody around Trump should help. Then Trump posts online, "Save Rudy." And then the settlement comes into being on this trial. The rise of the oligarchs does have some benefits if you're friends with Donald Trump. And Rudy Giuliani, despite his on and off relationship with Trump, despite embarrassing himself and his client with the whole hair dye episode, he is still at least enough in Trump's circle that he would benefit from these wealthy individuals lining up to try to curry favor with the next administration, with a president-elect who is transactional above all else. We won't know who's paying for Rudy's debts. Maybe at some point it'll leak out. There's probably a clause in the settlement agreement that limits what they can say about it, what information they can reveal, but things have a way of coming out. You know, in this day and age, it's hard to keep secrets like that. And the pressure was on Rudy Giuliani to settle this. I mean, it was getting close to the 11th hour where it was either put up or shut up. In fact, Giuliani was recently found in contempt of court. According to NBC News, U.S. District Judge Louis Lyman found Giuliani in contempt for repeatedly failing to follow court orders and turn over information in the New York case, while U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell found him in contempt for having, again, defamed Freeman and Moss on his web show. So this thing was just spiraling out of control, and Rudy Giuliani needed someone to bail him out. Well, he found someone, and hopefully we'll find out who it is. It's important, because democracy dies in darkness. Who came up with that line? Oh, yeah. The newspaper, now owned by Jeff Bezos. Might is mighty. Keep working, keep fighting.
Immigration law. Implication. Tennessee's governor will announce a special session to start the same day with an agenda including public safety measures related to illegal immigration. In West Virginia, new publication government Patrick Morrisley issued numerous orders on his first day, including one ending diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives at state agencies and institutions. Trump also went to abolish diversity and inclusion officers. Another of Morrissey's order allows families to receive religious expectations from required school vaccinations. Trump nominee for Secretary of Health And Human Services, Robert E. Kennedy, a lawyer with no medical public health degree, has long questioned some vaccines. Some Democratic